Alright, here we are. I'm going to work one more. This will be the third video for skills practice here in Module 3. So, still on the majortests.com website, the text completion first quiz, or practice test 1, whatever they call it. Stress-induced amnesia is a rare and blank phenomenon. It strikes the patient apparently without warning, and the memory loss can be as blank as that induced by blank trauma. Got a lot of blanks here. You're looking at 3 different words that you have to find, and these can seem daunting, but remember, you just got to stick with your practice. This is where it comes in handy to have practiced something the same way a number of times, so that way when you run up on a sentence like this, where you've got a lot of moving parts and a lot of different ways that it can go, you have something to fall back on. You have the practice, and you have the way that you've been doing it for some time to be able to rely on. So, first of all, we're going to cover up our answer choices, and then we're going to read through and try to get some sort of sense of what's going on. So for this one, again, stress-induced amnesia is a rare and something phenomenon. Are they saying rare and wonderful phenomenon? No, this is talking about striking a patient. So we know we're talking about something medical. We're talking about a medical patient being stricken with something apparently without warning, and talking about memory loss. So if you don't know anything else, you know that it's bad, right? So that's what I wrote was bad. Just from the context of the sentence, we can't make out a ton, but we can make out that. This is viewed negatively. So go to the answer choices and take a look at them. Stress-induced amnesia is a rare and devastating phenomenon. Yeah, that fits. It's a rare and venial phenomenon. Venial, I mean, that's, that sounds negative too, but that doesn't seem to be exactly what we're looking at. Now, pervasive could work, especially if you're looking later, talking about memory loss and something being extensive, but they're not really getting to that point of the sentence yet. So I'm going to settle with A right now, with devastating, to try to, to have that there. That seems to fit the best. And if it comes later in the sentence, we make out some of the other words that just fit by process of elimination. Maybe we come back and amend it, but I'm not sure we'll have to. It strikes the patient apparently without warning, and the memory loss can be as blank as that induced by blank trauma. So this middle one here is going to be tough. We can probably start kind of ruling some things out. We're talking about the memory loss. It can be as blank. So is it going to be generic? I don't think generic really fits with the sentence, so we can pretty much go ahead and cross out generic. The other two that we have, if we're talking about memory loss, is limited and complete. So they both work. They both can fit in there if we're talking about memory loss. But in the context of the sentence, limited and complete are absolute opposite. So if we're talking about the extent of something and it's really bad, then they're probably not going to say it can be as limited as that induced by some other sort of trauma. So it seems to be that the best choice there, just from the context of the sentence, is going to be complete. So you'll see that's what I actually checked was the best one there. I'd come up with extensive, which is what it felt like in the sentence, and then complete is what matches up to that as well. So what then we get is it can be as extensive or as complete as that induced by some other sort of trauma. So is it going to be unexpected trauma? I mean, that a trauma can be unexpected, but it doesn't seem like that's what the sentence is saying. So then we've got mental and physical. And remember, if you're talking about trauma, those are two different things. So stress-induced amnesia is what we're talking about to begin with. That would be some sort of mental trauma. So I don't think they would use that as a comparison to what we're talking about in the first place. So physical is what we're left with. If it's a stress-induced amnesia and they're talking about how bad it can be, and it can be as extensive or as complete as this other sort of trauma, they're probably not going to use mental for that, so physical is the best choice there. So at the beginning, we didn't really, I had a question mark there for the first one because I wasn't exactly sure where it was going to go. But once you just sort of work through, look at your keywords, look at your clue words, and you can begin to rule these things out. And it helps to have it on the paper, actually cross these things out so you don't have to think about them anymore.